Welcome to Ann Arbor, Michigan, here at Ray Fisher Stadium at the Wilpon Baseball and Softball Complex. You are tuned into WCBN Sports as we are bringing you some live radio coverage of the final game of this in-state rivalry between the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans. The Michigan Wolverines took the first two games of this series fairly easily. First game was a 8-2 win, and then yesterday, that was on Friday, and then yesterday Michigan took the win in a 9-2 victory, and today the Wolverines will go for the sweep, and the Michigan State Spartans will try to salvage a game of this Big Ten Conference series. I'm Jonas Tomkin. Alongside me, Connor O'Leary Herreras. Connor, it's been a long time since you've been on a WCBN broadcast, hasn't it?
That's true. It's been probably about six months since we did our trip down to Columbus.
Oh, that's right.
The Big Ten Soccer Championship. But I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Jonas.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
We could not find a second person to do this game, and I was like, you know what? Let me get my roommate Connor on this call because this is my last WCBN broadcast, which is really, really unfortunate. But happy to be here as always. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day here in Ann Arbor, and the Wolverines are feeling good. They've played really well. Their offense has really stepped up these past two games, as well as their pitching. I mean, just 4 runs given up in these first two games, along with 17 runs scored by their offense. And a lot of it has been from Greg Pace Jr., especially in that first game. He had a 3-run home run in that first game, as well as an RBI double. The RBI double came in the second, and then the 3-run homer was on an 0-2 pitch in the 4th inning. He went 2 for 3 on the day with a walk as well, and 4 Wolverines had RBIs in that first game. And then in the second game, Pace only had 1 RBI, but he went 4 for 4 at the plate and was able to score 4 runs for the Wolverines. So he's really, really had a great offensive surge these past couple weeks. I mean, last week I was calling the final game of the Iowa series when we were swept by Big Ten leaders at the time, the Iowa Hawkeyes. And Pace Jr. had been hot going into that series, but he kind of quieted down. But he came back for this in-state rivalry series, and before the series began, the Spartans were 1 place ahead of the Wolverines in the Big Ten Conference standings, but the Wolverines have overtaken them since then with the first 2 wins. And I'll just run you through the starting lineups real quick. On the mound for the Wolverines, it's going to be Tate Carey. Behind the plate, it's going to be Matt Spear at first, Jeter Ibarra at second, Mitch Voit. At short, it's going to be Benny Casillas. At third, Cole Caruso. In right, Braden Jeffries. In center, like we talked about, Greg Pace Jr., who's been hot offensively. Jonathan Kim is going to be the left fielder. And then the designated hitter today for the Wolverines is going to be Keegan O'Hearn. And I'll run you through the lineup for the Spartans as we're going to head underway too. In the first spot of the batting order, it's going to be Ryan McKay, then Randy Seymour, the third baseman, then Caleb Berry, the DH, then Sam Bush. Batting cleanup at first, then Parker Pico, JT Sokolov, Noah Bright, Dayton Murphy, and then Drake Dresselhaus in the 9th spot. And on the mound in the bottom of the first, it's going to be Nolan Higgins for the Spartans. But like I said, a beautiful day here at Ray Fisher Stadium, isn't it, Connor?
It's a great day. The sun is out. You got to imagine the Wolverines are coming into this feeling very little pressure, just looking to see this one out. And I'm excited. I think the conditions are right for a nice afternoon of baseball. So I'm excited to get it underway.
Yeah, and just like to mention, yesterday Mitch Voit had a 5 RBI day, going 3 for 5 from the plate. He had a triple and a home run. But we're going to get underway here in Ann Arbor, as Tate Carey wanted to deliver the first pitch, but So quick pause at the plate is Ryan McKay for the Spartans, a sophomore out of Clarkston, Michigan. Carey's ERA on the year is 4.26, but he's really been pitching great recently. He pitched in the game I called against the Hawkeyes and threw 6 really good innings, started to struggle a bit as he got tired, but Wolverines are happy to see him on the mound again. And here comes the first pitch from Carey. Now that's going to be low for a ball, make the count 1-0 to start this third game of this series here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Here's the 1-0 from Carey. Swing and fouled back towards the backstop off the net. Makes the count 1-1. Here's the 1-1 from Carey. Swung on, and that's fouled just past to the left of that third base bag down the third base line as that ball got in the hands of Ryan McKay a little bit. It'll make the count 1-2 here in this first at-bat here in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, for a moment that one almost looked like it would stay fair. But
here's the 1-2. Swung on and lined just over the leaping glove of Mitch Voit, and that's going to be a leadoff single here for Ryan McKay. And Ryan McKay stroked that one, and Mitch Voit was kind of playing deep in the grass in that second base position, but just over his head, wasn't it, Connor?
Just over his head. He leapt up and just missed it. And McKay thought about taking second, but eventually made the correct call and stayed at first. So.
Yeah, Jeffries got to that ball really quickly, but Spartans will have a leadoff base runner here in the first. Here's Randy Seymour to bat for the Spartans. First pitch to him is outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Randy Seymour is a junior third baseman out of Frankfort, Illinois. Hitting .289 on the year so far. Here's the 1-0 from Carey, and that's in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Seymour stepping back into the box. And Carey's going to throw over, check on McKay at first. McKay dives in safely. McKay, 11 steals on the season, has been caught 4 times. Here's Carey with the 1-1 pitch. Bunt from Seymour, and that's going to get down. Carey picks it up, throws to first, and just gets Seymour for the out, but a sacrifice bunt there from Randy Seymour, to move McKay up to second base, and that's the first out of the day here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Nice play there from Tate Carey, wasn't it?
That was a heads-up play, and that'll give the Wolverines their first out.
Yeah, had to get to that ball quickly and fire it over to Ibarra at first base, but that's the first out of the day here. Here's the first pitch to Caleb Berry. That's going to be inside for a ball. Berry's the DH today, the senior out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Hitting .328 on the season. That average goes up when runners are on base and in scoring position. 1-0 the count here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back against the backstop. That'll make the count 1-1. Berry batting .417 with runners in scoring position. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's inside as Berry was able to hold up. Makes the count 2-1. Really got in the hands of Berry there. Wolverines infield is shifted to the left, or not really. It looks like Voigt's just holding McKay at second, but pretty standard infield. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Makes the count 3-1. The 3-1 pitch here to Berry. Swung on, and that's popped up really, really high. Mitch Voit Looks like he's got it, and he does make the grab there for the second out here in the top of the first.
Don't want to speak too soon. It looks like Carey's just starting to find his rhythm, and that was a just a nice pace for the first three at bats, and looks like the Wolverines will start to see this inning out here.
Here's the first pitch to Bush, and that one is fouled down the left field line. For the first strike here, 2 outs. Sam Bush, the first baseman, senior out of East Lansing, Michigan, so playing for his hometown team. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Carey. That's just outside, missed for a ball, makes it count 1-1. Sam McKay at second base. Ryan McKay, excuse me. Bush, 314 average on the season. The 1-1 pitch is in there on the outside corner. Nice 94-mile-an-hour fastball there from Carey. Put a lot of juice on that one. One to the count here with 2 outs in the top of the first. Take Carey on the mound for the Michigan Wolverines. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Carey, and that one's outside for a ball. Count 2-2. Bush batting .438 with runners in scoring position this season, so dangerous hitter to have up right near here, the cleanup hitter. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on, and that one's fouled back left into towards the concession stands. Hopefully no food was damaged on that foul ball, but it looks like it's okay. The 2-2 pitch misses for a ball. That'll run the count full here in the top of the first. Big pitch here from Carey on the way. 3-2, 2 outs to the cleanup hitter and Sam Bush. McKay at second. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that one's fouled back. Count still full here to Sam Bush.
Yeah, Bush just staying alive. And we'll see if he can get on base, maybe move.
Here's the full count pitch, and that one's outside for a ball, and Bush will walk on down to first base. And after getting ahead of him 1-2, Bush does a nice job to work a walk there and put another man on base here for the Spartans, as Parker Pico will step into the box, the sophomore right fielder out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. First pitch from Carey, swung on and fouled down the right field line into the parking lot. I was telling Connor on our way here, we should park pretty far from the stadium, because if you park down that right field line, you're very vulnerable to, having your car hit by a foul ball. And I didn't want his car to get damaged after I forced him to come to this game. Yeah. Here's the 0-1 pitch in there for a strike.
I appreciated the concern. It looks like we avoided a fate that, I in fact did just see the ball just ricochet off a car out there. So I appreciate the concern.
Of course. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Pico. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Carey leaves 2 men stranded here in the top of the first, and that'll bring us to the bottom of the second. A nice job there from Carey to work around the 2 base runners, and that'll take us into the bottom of the first here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Due up for the Wolverines, it's going to be Benny Casillas, the shortstop, then Braden Jeffries And then Mitch Voit, who had the huge game yesterday, as I said before, went 3 for 5 at the plate with a triple and a home run. But 5 RBIs, 5 of the 9 Wolverine runs came off of Mitch Voit's bat. So he really had a great day. David Lally Jr. was on the mound yesterday for the Wolverines, and he was able to get the win after pitching 6 2/3 innings. Just 2 hits and 1 run given up there, and four strikeouts for Lally Jr. But a great day on the mound. The pitching has really been excellent for the Wolverines in this in-state series.
Certainly, and Carey there, following that trend, just closing out that first inning really well. And
yeah, got his first strikeout on the day there in the first to get Parker Pico, the sophomore, down on strikes, swinging. And on the mound for the Spartans here is going to be Nolan Higgins, the junior. He's got 5.29 ERA on the season so far with a 3-3 record, 10 appearances, all of those starts, and 47 2/3 innings pitched. Has 28 walks and 26 strikeouts, which is not an ideal ratio, so we'll see if he's able to control his stuff today, and we'll see if walks become an issue for Higgins today. But the Spartans really need a strong pitching performance today if they want to salvage the 3rd game of this series. I mean, the Wolverine bats have been hot. They've been really hot with Benny Casillas, Mitch Voit, Matt Spear as well. In the first game, went 3 for 4 with an RBI and cooled down a little bit yesterday, but still a threat nonetheless.
absolutely.
And when I called that game against Iowa last week, Benny Casillas led the game off with a home run in the bottom of the first. Michigan wasn't able to score too much after that, but we'll see if Casillas can start the game off like he did then today. And it is a maze out here at Ray Fisher Stadium. What were they giving out earlier, Connor?
Rally towels and light-up cowboy hats.
Yes, they were giving cowboy hats to the kids. It was very, very interesting. Here's the first pitch to Casillas, and that's low and outside for a ball. Casillas batting .406 on the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one's low and outside for another ball. Here's the count, makes the count 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Casillas. That's in there for a strike. Count 2-1. Two-one pitch is fouled off from Casillas. Makes the count 2-2 here to start off the game. Casillas, the grad student out of Los Angeles, California. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Casillas actually went to the same high school as our president, Jaden Fody. So it's an interesting fun fact.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. Jaden Fody, of course, out of Los Angeles, California, and has done a great job for WCBN, official student voice of Michigan athletics. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Casillas, and that one's low and outside. Run the count full here. Start off the bottom of the first. Here's the full count pitch to Casillas. Swung on and fouled down the right field line into that parking lot again. And bouncing off a car, off another one, off a few cars, and the fans were loving it. Maybe a couple of them not too happy about it if they saw their vehicle in the way, but we'll have another full count pitch here from Nolan Higgins. Out of the windup, kicks the knee. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lined into left field. Down for a base hit, and Benny Casillas leads off the bottom of the first here with a line drive single. The Michigan will have a leadoff base runner here to start off their day.
Yeah, dropped just right ahead of, I believe that's Jake Dresselhaus left field, and great start to the day.
Yeah, thought Dresselhaus had a chance for a second, but that ball was just dropping short of him. Now it'll be Braden Jeffries, the freshman, up at the plate, and he's going to line one into left center field. Dresselhaus is able to catch that one, though, and first pitch swinging was Jeffries. You love to see the aggression from the freshman, but that'll be the first out of the day. Sorry, Connor.
No. Was just agreeing that's like to see the aggression.
Most definitely. I mean, Jeffries hasn't had the reps some of his other teammates have, just 70 at-bats on the season, but good to see him in the lineup. Here's Mitch Voit up, and the first pitch to him is going to be low. Count 1-0. The 1-0 pitch here to Voit, and that one's way outside from Higgins. Count 2-0 here, 1 out in the bottom of the first here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Michigan State Spartans trying to salvage this final game of this weekend series. They're losing the first two yesterday and Friday. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Voit, and that one's swung on, and Voit just got a piece of that, fouled it back. Runs the count to 2-1. Casillas at first. He's got a short lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Higgins, and that one's low and makes the count 3-1 here. Big pitch coming up here from Nolan Higgins. Struggles with walks, struggles with control. Good pitch to hit for Voit as well. He's going to check up on Casillas, though, at first. Throw over, but not really a competitive throw there. Kind of wanted to maybe just take some time, gather himself for a second.
Definitely.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Voit, and that one's outside. Casillas goes, but the throw is moot as Voit was walked, so Casillas would have had the bag no matter what. But that'll put 2 runners on here for the Wolverines, and that's going to bring up Cole Caruso, the third baseman, the senior out of Scottsdale, Arizona, batting .289 on the season in the cleanup position today, and he's got 2 runners on here, the bottom of the first with 1 out. Already a walk given up for Nolan Higgins. Now he's got Caruso to deal with. Here's the first pitch to him, is way outside. Bright having to move over and get that, but not a problem for him. 1-0 the count here. The 1-0 pitch to Caruso is in there for a strike. The mazed out fans here not too happy about that call. I don't know if you can hear the boos, but not too happy about that call from Justin Robinson, the home plate umpire. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed there from Caruso. Makes the count 1-2. Threw the fastball by him. Higgins pitching from the stretch here. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one's way outside again. Makes the count 2-2. Not a hard pitch to lay off for Cole Caruso. Caruso has got 9 home runs on the season, is looking for his 10th, trying to get into double digits. Here's the 2-2 pitch to him, and a nice job there from Noah Bright to keep that ball in front of him, as that one was in the dirt and way outside. And that'll run the count full here. Higgins got ahead of Caruso 1-2, but threw two uncompetitive pitches and now has a big full count pitch here to throw. Looks back at Casillas, and whole throw to second, and McKay had to pick that one out of the ground as Higgins' throw to second base was a little bit low, but nice job there from McKay. Keep that in front of him. Now Higgins will have to deliver this 3-2 pitch. Here it is to Caruso, and that's inside for a ball, and that will load the bases here in the bottom of the first. Higgins got ahead of Caruso, 1-2, but second walk of the inning already for Higgins, and the free bases for the Wolverines will bring up Jeter Ibarra, first baseman for the Wolverines. He's a grad student out of San Jose, California, went to St. Francis High School, and really could provide a great offensive start here for the Wolverines with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and lined hard down the right field line, but that one's a foul ball. Just ahead of that one a little bit.
Yeah, he made great contact, but just couldn't quite wrap the bat around and keep it in play.
0-1 the count here. Jeter Ibarra. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and lined up the middle for a base hit. That'll score Casillas. Here comes Voit. Here's the throw in from center field, and safe! Safe! Wow, that was a great throw there from JT Sokolov, but Voit just got the head first slide in there, but a 2-run RBI single there from Jeter Ibarra. But wow, that was a close play at home, wasn't it?
That was very close. Yeah, excellent base running from the Wolverines, but just managing to slide in there and beat the throw. As you said, excellent throw from Sokolov, and it was always going to be close, but that was excellent base running from the Wolverines.
Definitely. I mean, Voit was hustling down the line. Personally, I thought he got him. I thought Voit was out. It looked like the ball came in time, but the catcher, Noah Bright, had to kind of reach, across and try and get Mitch Voit as Voit kind of dove in head first on the back side of the plate, and I guess he just beat it. Justin Robinson, he took a second, the home plate umpire, took a second to make that safe call, and it looks like there's going to be a quick review here on the field just because of how close that play was. But
very
as
close.
it stands, 2-0 for the Wolverines in the bottom of this first, continuing their strong offensive performance. Jeter Ibarra, the grad student, came up big, lined that one straight up the middle, really squared up that pitch from Nolan Higgins. And Higgins, who's struggled with the walks so far this season, it's already hurt him today here in the bottom of the first as the Wolverines have a 2-0 lead to start this game. And 2 free base runners for the Wolverines, and it's not what you want to do. And the Spartans, I said they needed a big pitching performance today with how hot these Wolverine bats have been, and this is not how you want to start this game if you are the Michigan State Spartans. Just 1 out in this bottom of the first. Cole Caruso on second base, Jeter Ibarra on first for the Wolverines. We'll see if the call stands or if Mitch Voit will be called out at home. But a bang-bang play there at home plate, and a very exciting start to this game, wouldn't you say, Connor?
Definitely. Very exciting, yeah. Higgins just kind of lost the momentum he had in I believe it was the at-bat with Caruso, wasn't it, where he just couldn't get that last strike, and it seemed to maybe it got in his head or who knows, but it's just not what you want. As you said, it's not what you want, and with a Wolverine batting lineup that's already hot, you can't be giving up walks.
Definitely not, and Higgins, like I said, has struggled with the walks so far this season, and already 2 given up in this first inning. We're still waiting on a call here as the crew will review that play at home, but we have the broadcaster cam up today, so thanks for tuning in to WCBN Sports. This is my last broadcast with WCBN. It's very, very sad. Bittersweet moment, though. It's great to be here. It's a beautiful day for baseball, and it's been a great journey with this radio station, and a great way to end it. We'll see how this game goes. Already an exciting start with that bang-bang play at home plate as JT Sokolov rifled in that throw from center field after the line drive from Ibarra. Easily scored Casillas from third, but Mitch Voit, he thought it looked like the shortstop Murphy had a chance of catching it. So Mitch Voit had to hold up for a second before he could start heading to third. He wasn't sure if Murphy was going to make the catch.
Looks like.
But the call on the field is going to stand. Mitch Voit is safe at home plate, and the Wolverines do maintain their 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Not how you want to start this game if you are the Michigan State Spartans, but we'll get back to it. One out here in the bottom of the first. At the plate, it's going to be Jonathan Kim, the left fielder, junior out of Brookfield, Wisconsin. On second, Cole Caruso. First, Jeter Ibarra. Nolan Higgins, here's the first pitch. And Jonathan Kim went around on that one. Ball was in the dirt, but Kim not able to hold up his swing. It's going to be the first strike here, 0-1, the count. Here's Nolan Higgins. And that one's in there for a strike. Caught the inside corner with the breaking ball. Quickly run the count 0-2. Nolan Higgins got ahead of a couple hitters earlier, but lost control after getting ahead of Caruso 1-2. Ended up walking him. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Kim, and that one's not in the zone. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Kim. That one's low and inside, and 2-2 the count now. Higgins does not want to run this count full after already giving up 2 walks this inning. Can't give the Wolverines any more free base runners the way they've been hitting. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that hits Jonathan Kim, and that's another free base runner here for the Wolverines, and Higgins will have to deal with another bases loaded situation. Just one out here in the bottom of the first, and that's gonna bring up Matt Spear, the catcher, who went 3 for 4 in the first game of the series, so he's hitting pretty well right now. Bats from the left side, throws from the right. He's also got a great arm. Saw him throw out a runner against Iowa, but the Spartans will have a quick pitchers meeting here on the mound. Infield and battery all on the mound right now, as Higgins really has a big at-bat right here with the bases loaded. Already 2 runs scored for the Wolverines this inning, and don't want to let it be more, but huge at-bat here.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to let this one keep getting any more out of hand if you're the Spartans, and hopefully this will give Higgins a moment to collect himself, and it looks like that's that. So we'll see Mitch Voit at the plate. We'll see if he can't score some of these Wolverines. Excuse me, Matt Spears. Thank you, Jonas.
Of course. Happens to the best of us. But, yes, huge at-bat here for Matt Spear, the catcher. Spears hitting .240 on the season. This is his 101st at-bat. Here's the first pitch to Spear. Swung on in line down the left field line. But that's going to go into the bullpen of the Wolverines. First strike now, count 0-1 here. Already 2-0 here for the Wolverines in this bottom of the first. Here's the pitch from Higgins. Swung on and lined into left field for a base hit. Here comes Caruso. Ibarra charging in. The throw's going to be offline, and 2 runs will score for the Wolverines. But 4-0 already after that RBI single from Matt Spear. Ball got inside of him a little bit, but he was able to muscle that one out into left field. And the throw from Dresselhaus offline as Ibarra was able to score easily. And another 2 runs in for the Wolverines in this bottom of the first. Already 29 pitches thrown from Higgins in the inning. And that'll bring up Keegan O'Hearn, the DH today, out of Oshawa, Ontario, the sophomore. Bats left. Here's the first pitch to him, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count 0-1. Here's the second pitch to him, and O'Hearn went around Justin Robinson. Called that one. Count 0-2 now here to O'Hearn. Higgins really needs an out. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the first. 4-0 for the Wolverines. Swung on and lined into left field, and that's going to get down in the corner. Kim will score. Spear ends up at third, and that's going to be an RBI double for Keegan O'Hearn, the DH, and the Wolverines continue to rake on the 0-2 pitch. O'Hearn lined that one into the left field corner, and that's another run home for the Wolverines here in the first. Make it a 5-0 lead already with just 1 out gone in the bottom of the first, and we'll have another pitchers meeting here with Higgins.
So far, yeah, the Wolverines just seeming to be riding that inertia from the beginning of the series, and really just, yeah, they just keep making great contact and
keep hitting,
and it's looking like it.
Yeah, and the Wolverines have really started off this game strong.
Yes.
And Keegan O'Hearn getting high fives from his teammates along the sideline. O'Hearn, just his 4th at-bat of the season, and his first RBI on the season, the sophomore. So Tracy Smith giving one of the young, more inexperienced guys a chance, and it immediately pays off with that RBI double down the left field line. His first extra base hit of the season, and yeah, just 4 games played and all pinch hit situations, but getting his first start today and already an RBI, and Keegan's got to be feeling good about that.
Absolutely, and it looks like Spartans will bring out Garrett Brewer, the sophomore left-handed pitcher, to replace Nolan Higgins.
Yeah, so Higgins only able to get 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and yeah, Michigan State already making the change here. Jake Boss, head coach, deciding that too much damage has been done, and Higgins, it just isn't his day today, and they'll bring in the lefty Garrett Brewer to pitch here. ERA over 6 on the season, so has struggled at points, but Spartans need to give the Wolverines a different look because just 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and Greg Pace Jr. will come up to the plate, I believe, the 9-hitter. So Wolverines will go through their whole lineup this inning with just 1 out gone here in the bottom of the first. Already 5 runs home off 4 hits, which shows you those 2 walks Higgins gave up really really were detrimental, but that'll bring up Greg Pace Jr. Went for 4 for 4 yesterday against the Michigan State Spartans. The junior out of Detroit, Michigan, has really been hot recently, especially in this series against the Spartans. Had a solo home run yesterday. Scored 4 runs as well. Here's the first pitch to Pace, and that one's outside for a ball. Garrett Brewer, 6.62 ERA on the season. 17 2/3 innings pitched. Second pitch to Pace Jr. is just on the inside corner for a strike. Nice fastball there, painting the corner. 2 runners in scoring position for the Wolverines. O'Hearn at second, Spear at third. 1-1 the count, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be high for a ball. 2-1 the count here. Fastball way outside the zone. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Brewer. Swung on and fouled back towards the netting. Make the count 2-2 to Greg Pace Jr. Pace Jr. has brought his average up to 343 on the season, 1138 OPS. So it's been mostly these past few weeks, he's just been really, really hot. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back again. Just got a piece of that fastball. Stays in that bat. Staying Alive music starts to play here at Ray Fisher Stadium as Pace Jr. fouled off that 2-strike pitch. Brewer sets up for the 2-2. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Brewer got him with the breaking ball. Much needed strikeout for these Michigan State Spartans, and that'll make it 2 outs in the inning. And we'll flip the lineup card. Benny Casillas, who led off this inning with a single, is back up at the plate already. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Brewer does not want to let these Wolverines on second and third score. Here's the first pitch to Casillas, and that one's outside. 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one's inside. Nice job there from Bright to block that one, keep the ball in front of him, but count 2-0 now to Benny Casillas. Here's the 2-0, and that one's in there for a strike on the inside corner. Got the breaking ball in there. Makes the count 2-1. Brewer setting up for the 2-1. Here it comes, and that one's fouled back to the right into the parking lot towards the intramural sports building here, the University of Michigan. 5-0 the score here. 5 runs in for the Wolverines already this inning. 2-2, 2 outs here. Brewer. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Casillas. Swung on and fouled into the parking lot. Not sure if that one hit a car, but that's going to roll onto the track behind that IM building. But really are putting your vehicle in danger if you want to park close to this right field line. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and lined up the middle, and that's going to get cut off by Murphy, but that'll bring in 1 run. That was a soft liner, but the shortstop and second baseman, Murphy and McKay, were not playing close to the second base bag at all, so they had no chance of catching that on the fly, but a nice job from Murphy to keep that from going into center field and save a run, but another run in here for the Wolverines. RBI for Benny Casillas. Here's Braden Jeffries, who first pitch swinging lined into left field, lined out to left field. That was the only out that Nolan Higgins got in his outing today, just a third of an inning pitched. Here's the 1-0 to Jeffries, and that one's hit hard to the second baseman, but McKay will fire it to Bush for the third out of the inning. 6 runs came home for the Wolverines in that bottom of the first, and a huge lead here to start off this game as the Wolverines went through their whole lineup, and Casillas and Jeffries both went up to the plate twice, but Spartans pitchers facing 11 batters in that bottom of the first, and a 6-0 lead to start off this game here as we head to the top of the second.
Very high scoring start to the game, and yeah, morale's just got to be pretty high in the Wolverine dugout, and you can see it reflected out on the diamond, no doubt about it.
Most definitely, and Tate Carey will head back to the mound for the Wolverines, and Carey has just really been pitching excellently for these Wolverines. He had a no-hit gem against Akron, and threw the first no-hitter since Ron Hollis did it against Michigan State opponents today back in 1994. It was the 14th no-hitter in program history. But he had a streak of about 16 scoreless innings going for a while. Streak ended against the Iowa Hawkeyes. That was a tough series for the Wolverines last week. But they got swept by Big Ten opponents, but now they've set themselves up nicely here to get the sweep against their in-state rivals in the Michigan State Spartans, for the final. It's the third game of the series. Like we said, Michigan won the first 2 games, and already a 6-0 lead with just 1 inning gone here at Ray Fisher Stadium. And JT Sokolov, the senior out of Hudsonville, Michigan, will step up to the plate here for the Spartans. 280 average on the season, hitting .440 when he leads off the inning. First pitch to Sokolov is in there. Just caught the zone there for the first strike. 0-1 the count to Sokolov. That one's way outside. Carey with the 93-mile-an-hour fastball just pulled that one a little bit. Count 1-1. This 1-1 pitch is a swing and a miss there from Sokolov. Carey threw that fastball by JT, and that'll make the count 1-2. Top of the second here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Carey, and that one's low and outside for a ball. 2-2 the count. The 2-2 pitch is fouled down the right field line into that parking lot again. A lot of foul balls already, just 1 inning gone. A lot of cars potentially susceptible to damage. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Sokolov, and that one's fouled into the parking lot again.
Almost the same spot.
Hopefully there's not one car just getting, beat up, but we parked far enough, so we don't have to worry about that, Connor.
I hope so.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and lined down the right field line into the parking lot again. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I guess that's where you got to stand if you want to go home with a baseball.
With a bucket of baseballs today. I mean, there's just been... I swear we're into double digits already. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Carey. Swing and a miss from Sokolov. Got him with the breaking ball. And that's the first out here in the top of the second. But the mazed out fans are loving it here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Second strikeout on the day for Carey. And that'll bring up the catcher, Noah Bright. Bright out of Macomb, Michigan, is a senior, hitting .264 on the season. Here's the first pitch to him. Swing and a miss. Carry through the fastball by him. Makes the count 0-1. Already 6-0 here for the Wolverines in the top of the second. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Carey, and that catches the outside corner. 94 miles an hour on that fastball. It's the hardest I've seen him throw today. Count 0-2 quickly. Carey from the windup delivers the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Threw the fastball by him at 95 miles an hour. Carey strikes out first two Spartans this inning. Two gone here in the top of the second. And that'll bring up the freshman shortstop, Dayton Murphy, out of Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Left Noah Bright with no chance there.
I mean, I said, 94 is the hardest I've seen him throw today, and then he pumps out a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. First pitch to Murphy is fouled back again into the parking lot on that right side here of Ray Fisher Stadium. Murphy batting .229 on the season, the 9-hole hitter. Second pitch to him is in there for a called strike. Makes the count 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and lined hard past the diving glove of Mitch Voit along that second base line. Some nice two-strike hitting there from Dayton Murphy. And that's a two-out base runner here for the Michigan State Spartans. Excuse me, Murphy was the 8-hole hitter. That is my fault. That'll bring up the left fielder, Jake Dresselhaus, the junior out of Highland, Michigan, hitting .206 on the season. First pitch from Carey into Dresselhaus, in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Murphy at first base, one steal on the season, has been caught one time as well. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Carey. That one catches the outside corner, strike two. Quickly the count 0-2 to the 9-hitter, Jake Dresselhaus. Take Carey pitching out of the stretch now with the runner on first base. And he's going to check up on Murphy there at first. Down 6 runs, unlikely Murphy would be trying to steal a bag here. But you never know. 0-2 the count here to Dresselhaus. Here comes the pitch, and that one's low and outside for a ball. One, 2 the count here to Dresselhaus. 2 outs in the top of the second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Take Carey strikes out the side here in the top of the second. And the Michigan Wolverines will head back to bat. Due up for the Wolverines. It's Mitch Voit, Cole Caruso, who both walked in that first inning. And then after Voit and Caruso, it'll be Jeter Ibarra for the Wolverines. But Tate Carey continuing his dominant pitching. He's really, really stepped it up for the Wolverines this season, especially in these past. He had a slow start to the season, actually. Excuse me. Tate Carey had a slightly slow start to the season, but he's really picked it up and, you know, had that scoreless streak of about 16 innings, if I remember correctly. He was trying to continue that against the Iowa game, which I called. And he's really feeling himself today after striking out the side in that top of the second. A nice 2-strike base hit from Dayton Murphy got him the single, but then Tate Carey making easy work of the 9-hitter Dresselhaus, and it'll bring the Wolverines back up to bat here in the bottom of the second. And we'll turn the broadcaster cam back on here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's my first time I've used the broadcaster cam when some of my fellow station members have ran the stream. Owen Crane, one of our former presidents, helped me set it up earlier today. So big thanks to him, and you guys can see our delighted faces here as it just is a beautiful day here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The weather is perfect, and this stadium has really filled up today. I mean, weather is finally starting to stay warm in Ann Arbor. We had a couple phases where you had a couple 60, 70 degree days, and then it would drop back down, but weather's starting to feel like summer in Ann Arbor, and I think I'm very happy about it. I'm sure you are as well, Connor.
Very relieved, yeah, and it's starting to feel like, baseball season.
Most definitely, and we'll get started here in the bottom of the second. Mitch Voit at the plate. First pitch to him. Breaking ball is in there for a called strike. Voit walked last inning in the first. Ended up scoring on the Jeter Ibarra RBI single. A bang-bang play at the plate. And second pitch is in there for a called strike. Quickly makes the count 0-2. Here's the 0-2, way outside. Brewer lost control of that fastball a little bit. Makes the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Voit, blocked by Noah Bright, the catcher. Nice job there from Bright. 2-2 the count now to Voit. Michigan hitters 5 for 8 overall already, just with 1 inning gone here at Ray Fisher Stadium. 2-2 the count to Mitch Voit. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped up into left field. Murphy tracking back. He'll get called away by Dresselhaus, and that'll be the first out of the inning as Dresselhaus makes the grab. That'll bring up Cole Caruso, the third baseman, also walked in his first plate appearance last inning in the first. And as he takes a warm-up swing, he lost his elbow pad, it looks like, but he's going to put that one right back on here. So he'll step up into the batter's box. Caruso keeps his right foot on that back line of the square. The right-handed batter looking for his 10th home run of the season. Here's the first pitch to him, and he'll check swing that one and get a piece of it. Noah Bright jumped up and caught that one. First strike. 0-1 the count here to Caruso. On the count. Swung on and fouled back towards the Michigan State dugout along this right field line.
Thank you.
0-2 the count here to Cole Caruso, the third baseman. Brewer on the mound for the Spartans. Here's the pitch. Just outside, just missed with the fastball there. Makes the count 1-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Wolverines up 6-0 here in Ann Arbor, Michigan in this final game of this weekend series. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled into that parking lot. The fans are looking up, seeing if it did any damage. But like I said, if you were in that parking lot today, you'd have a bucket of balls already, and we're not even through 2 innings here. 1-2 the count still to Caruso. Here's the pitch from Brewer. That one is way outside and way high. Noah Bright not able to reel that one in. Makes the count 2-2. Two the count here. Here's the pitch, and that one's upstairs. runs the count full here to Cole Caruso. Garrett Brewer, 1-2 record on the season with a save, 18 2/3 innings pitched, including his work today. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Got him with the breaking ball. And Cole Caruso will go down swinging here for the second out of the bottom of the second. And Jeter Ibarra will come in, the left-handed hitting first baseman. Jeter Ibarra started the scoring for the Wolverines in the first with that RBI single, which brought in Casillas and Voit. Voit just beat the tag at home. Here's the first pitch to Ibarra, in there for a called strike, 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In there for another called strike. Got the breaking ball in the zone there. 0-2 the count quickly to Ibarra. Oh-2 pitch just outside. Could not get the cutter in the zone there.
Brewer seeming to find his footing a little bit on the mound. And
most definitely.
got his second strikeout.
The 1-2 pitch is a swing and a miss from Jeter Ibarra, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Brewer. Exactly what the Spartans needed, and they'll head back up to the plate. It'll be the top of the lineup for the Michigan State Spartans. Ryan McKay, the leadoff hitter, then Randy Seymour, then Caleb Berry, the DH for the Spartans, and they really need some offensive output here as Tate Carey is already back on the mound. He is ready to go here. Got a six-run lead going into this bottom of the second. And we're back on the broadcaster cam, but yeah, a nice inning there from Garrett Brewer. Got Voit to fly out on the 2-2 pitch, and then struck out Cole Caruso swinging on a full count. That was a 7-pitch at bat to Cole Caruso, and then got Jeter Ibarra, who singled in the first 2 runs of this game in the bottom of the second with a 1-2 fastball. But Tate Carey back on the mound and struck out the side in that bottom of the second, in the top of the second, as we head into the top of the third here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Got myself a little bit confused, but nonetheless, Ryan McKay, who led off the game with a single, only made it to second base, though. And we'll see if the Spartans can get a little bit of an offensive spark here. The 1-2-3 inning from Garrett Brewer might have motivated them a little bit, but we shall see. McKay hitting .327 on the season. Will step into the box now for the Michigan State Spartans. First pitch to McKay is way outside for a ball. 1-0 the count here. The 1-0 pitch is inside and low for another ball. 2-0 the count. The 2-0 pitch is fouled back against the net. Makes the count 2-1. The 2-1 pitch here to McKay is upstairs for a ball. Makes the count 3-1. Good pitch to hit here if you're Ryan McKay. Bats lefty. Here's the 3-1, and that one swung and lined hard down the left field line and drifting off the wall. And McKay will slide into second base with a leadoff double, exactly what the Michigan State Spartans needed here in this top of the third inning.
Yeah, made great contact with that one, and yeah, just came off the wall back there, and Kim able to make a play, or at least prevent McKay from advancing any further. But
now Spartans lead off, start this inning with a man in scoring position. Here's Randy Seymour. First pitch to him is a called strike, 0-1 the count. Carey got the breaking ball in there. McKay's double came off that brick wall out in left field where Michigan has retired some of their famous players' numbers. The 0-1 pitch is fouled back off the net and quickly makes the count 0-2. Here for Randy Seymour. Seymour had the sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Was thrown out at first after a nice play from Carey. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Seymour just got a piece of that breaking ball. Keep the count 0-2. The count here. McKay on second base for the Spartans. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back up against the press box. Another foul ball here for Seymour. Count still 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That one's in there for a called strike. Strike 3. Fifth strikeout on the day for Carey already. And that's the first out here in this top of the third. The Wolverine fans loving it here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And that'll bring up Caleb Berry, the DH. McKay still on second. Here's the first pitch to Berry, and that one's fouled back hard against the right side of the netting, just over his own dugout. Oh, 0-1 the count here. McKay on second. Berry at the plate. Here's the pitch from Carey, and that one's grounded down the left field line, and that's going to be a double, and that'll score McKay from second past the diving Cole Caruso, and that'll get the Spartans their first run of the day. Nice piece of hitting there from Caleb Berry as he snuck that one down the third base line for a stand-up double. RBI double for Caleb Berry makes the score 6-1 here for the Michigan Wolverines, and a run on the board for the Spartans, exactly what they needed after that 1-2-3 inning from Garrett Brewer. Here comes the cleanup hitter, Sam Bush, first baseman. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. The count here, one gone. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In there for a called strike. Got the fastball on the outside corner. Carey has a 6-0 record on the season. Here's the 1-1, and that one's lined, popped up towards left field, and Jonathan Kim on the warning track just had enough room there to make the grab for the second out of this inning. Wasn't sure exactly how hard Bush hit that one, but that ball just kept carrying, and I thought for a second it might go off the wall, but Kim able to make the grab. Now Parker Pico, the right fielder, will step up to the plate. First pitch to him is fouled back. 0-1 the count. 2 outs here. The top of the third. 1 run home for the Spartans. Barry on second base. Here's the 0-1, and that one's popped up into shallow center field. And Casillas is going to call off his second baseman, Voit. And that'll end the inning, but 1 run home here for the Michigan State Spartans. And
they get themselves on the board.
They do get themselves on the board, exactly what they needed. A couple doubles from Ryan McKay, and then Caleb Berry on an 0-1 fastball is able to get him home, get McKay home. Ball snuck down the third base line, and Garrett Brewer will head back on the mound for the Michigan State Spartans. 3 strikeouts so far. Had a 1-2-3 inning in the second, and will look to continue that good pitching. And Connor, this Michigan Wolverines offense has just been on fire this series. And, you know, they've slowed down. I mean, Higgins really couldn't do anything about him. Just got able to get the 1 out on a hard line drive hit by Jeffries into left field. But, you know, what do you think Michigan State has to do? Obviously, they got to score a lot of runs if they want to compete with these Wolverines. But, you know, is it going to be the pitching today that gets them back into this game? What do you think?
I imagine, I mean, it just looked like the Wolverines came in with a lot of confidence and were able to, get that strong start that put them ahead. And if the Spartans want to work their way back into this one, I think they're going to have to keep the Wolverines' production to hold it where it is, of course, and that's a big responsibility on the shoulders of Garrett Brewer on the mound, of course, but and then if they can just keep bringing runs home, they might be able to find their way back into this one. I could see it happening, but again, it'll require these Wolverines, who, as you've said, are very hot, to slow down on their production. So
that'll bring up Jonathan Kim to lead off for the Wolverines. He'll show bunt on the first pitch, but that one's low and outside for a ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's bunted down the first baseline, and that'll just drift foul. It's a pretty good bunt there from Jonathan Kim, the left fielder. Kim still looking for his first home run on the season. Has been hit by a pitch 6 times already. We saw him get hit by Nolan Higgins in that first inning, but
that's where it all started to unravel.
Yeah, Higgins, 2 straight walks to Voit and Caruso. Then the RBI single given up to Ibarra, and then hitting Jonathan Kim. It really was a struggle for him in that first inning. Here's the 1-1 to Kim, and that one's fouled back over the press box. Makes the count 1-2. Kim not able to square up that breaking ball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. In there for strike 3. Caught him looking. Jonathan Kim goes down on strikes here for the first out of this bottom of the third inning here. Garrett Brewer continuing his good pitching. 4th strikeout on the day already. That brings up the senior catcher, Matt Spear. Spear had a 2 RBI single in the first. The left-handed batter throws righty. Here's the first pitch to him. That's on the outside corner. Nice pitch there from Brewer. 0-1 the count to Spear. Second pitch to Spear is way upstairs with the fastball. Makes the count 1-1. You know, I just noticed all the Michigan State players have high socks on, which is very interesting. I just noticed that. When I played Little League, the 1-1 pitch to Spear is low, runs the count 2-1. Excuse me. When I played Little League, I always loved doing the high socks.
That was your go-to?
Yes, that was my go-to. And, you know, that wasn't what was in at the time, but I love to see it from the Spartans. Here's the 2-1. That one's outside for a ball. 3-1 the count now to Matt Spear. Don't want to give the Wolverines any more free base runners, do you?
Definitely not.
3-1 the count here to Spear. Here's the pitch from Brewer. Swung on and lined up the middle into center field, and that'll get down for a base hit. Matt Spear squaring up that 3-1 fastball and able to get that line drive to drop in center field in front of JT Sokolov. That'll be a one-out base hit here for the Wolverines and bring up Keegan O'Hearn, who got his first RBI of the season in the first inning.
That's right. So we'll see if he can keep his momentum going.
First pitch to O'Hearn is in the dirt. A nice pick there from Bright, who threw it down to first base as Spear was caught off the bag a little bit, but able to get back just in time. A nice pick there from Noah Bright there.
Great play.
1-0 the count here to O'Hearn. And that one's popped up sky high into shallow center field. And JT Sokolov coming in, looked like almost 100 feet there. He was playing pretty deep in center and came up close to the infield. Looks like Ryan McKay, the second baseman, was struggling to find that ball, but nice job from the Spartan center fielder coming in and making a pretty, it's what they call a major league pop-up right there. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Greg Pace Jr. now up at the plate. First pitch to him. It's in there for a strike. Brewer got the breaking ball just on the inside corner there. 0-1 the count. Matt Spear on first. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Greg Pace Jr. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. Got tied up there on the cutter. And that'll bring the count to 0-2 here. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Garrett Brewer on the mound for the Spartans. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got Greg Pace Jr. out on 3 pitches. A 3-pitch strikeout to end the inning. Due up for the Spartans in the top of the fourth will be JT Sokolov, Noah Bright, and then Dayton Murphy, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And another scoreless inning from Garrett Brewer, exactly what they needed. And that'll bring us into the top of the fourth.
Yeah, the Spartans holding the Wolverines to 6 runs through these last 2 innings. And as you said, they need to do that if they want to find their way back into this game. So
most definitely. Spartans have already lost the first 2 games of this in-state rivalry series and are trying their best now after that tough bottom of the first inning, as Nolan Higgins really just didn't have his best stuff today, did he?
Did not, yeah.
Struggled with the walks, has struggled all season, and walked 2 batters, hit 1 batter, and too many free base runners for the Wolverines allowed them to bring in 6 in that bottom of the first. And with Tate Carey on the mound and how great he's been pitching, Wolverines have got to feel like they're in a great spot now.
Absolutely.
Michigan State Spartans came into the series ahead of the Michigan Wolverines in the Big Ten standings, but after those two tough losses to start off this rivalry series, they have dropped below the Wolverines in the rankings. Michigan in the 9th spot. Michigan State in the 10th. Here's the first pitch to JT Sokolov. Way outside there from Carey. Pulled on that one a little bit. 1-0 the count here in the top of the 4th. And Iowa, who swept the Wolverines last weekend in their series in Ann Arbor, 19-4 in Big Ten play. Second pitch to Sokolov in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Both Michigan and Michigan State have struggled in Big Ten conference play. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Sokolov. That's outside for a ball. 2-1 the count. Breaking ball missed there from Carey. Carey from the windup brings up his knee. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that one's low. Makes the count 3-1 here. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Sokolov. Swung on and grounded hard towards Mitch Voit, but Hull make easy work of that.
Does drop the ball for a sec, but looks like he
Jeter Ibarra, first baseman, caught it and then dropped it. First base umpire Sean Howard still gave him the call. But I thought for a second they might give Sokolov the bag, because Ibarra did drop it for a second, but that's the first out here in the top of the 4th. Now Noah Bright, the catcher, up at the plate for the Spartans. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. Noah Bright struck out swinging in the second. 1-0 pitch to him is fouled back against the netting. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 pitch is lined, but that one's right at Mitch Voit, who is playing in the outfield there, as he didn't even have to move a foot there. Sorry, our window just fell down for a second in front of us. I had to act quickly and catch that, but that's the second out of the inning here for Tate Carey, as Bright lined out right at Mitch Voit. That'll bring up Dayton Murphy, the freshman, singled in the second. First pitch to him catches the inside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Your quick thinking there saved the broadcast cam, I just want to say. So.
Yes, we love the broadcast cam.
You'll be seeing more of us, yeah.
It was almost terrible damage done by the falling window in front of us. We've got it all the way open just because the weather is just so nice here, and we want to feel it here in the press room. 0-2 pitch to Dayton Murphy is in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Dayton Murphy. Swung on and lined right back at Carey. Hull walk over to first base and toss that to Jeter Ibarra. A 1-2-3 inning there for Tate Carey in the top of the 4th, making easy work of the bottom of the lineup, or bottom third of the lineup for the Michigan State Spartans, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And Wolverines will come back to the plate with a 5-run lead. It'll be the top of the order for the 3rd time already, just here in the bottom of the 4th. And we'll have a new pitcher here for the Michigan State Spartans. It's going to be Logan Picour. Logan Picour for the Michigan State Spartans.
Yeah, Carey's quick reflexes there allowed him to get the 3rd out and and the top of the fourth, kind of reminiscent of your quick reflexes and
yes, of me saving the window, and now we are back on the broadcast cam. Thankfully, the window didn't take it out, but it's been a fairly action-packed start of this game. We've got two kids on the field right now, both in dinosaur costumes, racing down the third base line. A lot of kids at the ballpark today. It's a beautiful Sunday. You know, the families here in Ann Arbor want to do something with their kids, and what better way to spend it than at Ray Fisher Stadium, you know, watching some Michigan Wolverines baseball, especially the way the Wolverines have been playing this series. Had a midweek game against Bowling Green, I believe. They got the win there after, you know, the tough series against Iowa, but they've bounced back. They've bounced back against these Spartans this series, and they're on their way to a series sweep now this weekend. Due up for the Wolverines, it's the top of the order: Benny Casillas, Braden Jeffries, and then Mitch Voit for the Michigan Wolverines. First game that the Wolverines and Spartans ever played was back in 1884, June 14th. The Wolverines took a win there, 13-4, but a very, very long history between these two schools.
Of course, yes. You can't ignore the storied rivalry between these two teams.
Most definitely, and here's the first pitch from Picor. That one's misses for a ball. 1-0 the count to Casillas. Casillas 2 for 2 on the day, singled in the first, twice actually. 2 at-bats in that first inning, got an RBI on the second single. Scored a run after the first one. Second pitch to him is in there for a called strike. Picor got the fastball just on the inside corner. 1-1 the count. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Picor. That one just misses, makes the count 2-1. And the socks that the Spartans have, they're a specific style, and I forgot exactly what they're called. They're not just the high socks. It's this old school style, but I really like how they all are matching. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 3-1. We need like an assistant here to like look up stuff. I believe they're the stripes. Stirrups. Thank you. Shout out to the baseball managers here. And that one's grounded up the middle for a base hit from Benny Casillas. Swinging on that 3-1 pitch past the shortstop, Murphy. And that'll be a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the fourth for the Wolverines. Three singles already for Benny Casillas here. Has been hitting really well recently. The grad student came into the series hitting .414. And after his performance today, it's probably close to that again. Here's the first pitch to Jeffries. That's in there for a called strike. Picor got the breaking ball in there. 0-1 the count. Picor will check up on Casillas at first. Casillas has got 5 stolen bases on the season, has been caught stealing once. Here's the 0-1 to Jeffries, and that one's upstairs for a ball. 1-1 the count. Jeffries looking for his first home run of the season. Here's the 1-1 pitch. No, excuse me, and Picor is going to throw that one quickly over. Check up on Casillas again. Not a ton of stealing threats for these Wolverines. Really just Mitch Voit with 13 steals on the season. But Casillas is second with 5. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Casillas goes, and that one's fouled against the back netting here. Might have been a hit and run play, potentially, Connor?
Potentially.
Yeah, it looked like that one was pretty far out the zone, and, you know, Jeffries just kind of jabbed at that one, trying to make contact, but that'll make the count 1 and 2 here. No outs in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Chance for a double play. Double clutch, though, from the second baseman, McKay, as he was able to catch it at second but couldn't make a clean transition. So just 1 out, but Taylor made double play there for the Michigan State Spartans, but unable to turn 2. But that'll be the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Mitch Voit. 0 for 1 on the day. Was walked in the first inning by Nolan Higgins and then flew out to left field in the second. Jeffries and Casillas will trade places, though. Now Jeffries at first, Voit at the plate. Here's the first pitch to him. That one's inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Voit got his 10th home run of the season in yesterday's game. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one's low and outside for a ball. 2-0 here. Mitch Voit, one of Michigan's best hitters, if not their best hitter. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. Now the count 3-0. Coming into the series, Voit was top 10 in Big Ten batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage. So really an offensive powerhouse for these Wolverines. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Voit, and that one's in there for a strike. Voit thought he had the free base for a second, but Justin Robinson called that one a strike. Just caught the bottom part of the zone. Makes the count 3-1. Three-one pitch. Jeffries goes. Voit flies that one out to right field, but Pico will have it for the second out of the inning. Another hit and run play, it looked like, for the Wolverines as Jeffries was going. Jeffries just 2 steals on the season, 4 attempts. So not a usual threat to steal a bag, but was running there, but had to go back to first after Voit flied that one out to right. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Cole Caruso, the third baseman. Caruso was also walked by Higgins in that bottom of the 1st, where the Wolverines scored 6 runs. Here's the first pitch from Pecor. Jeffries goes. The throw down from Bright. Got him. A dart there from Noah Bright to throw out Braden Jeffries at second. And Noah Bright started walking back to the dugout before that ball even reached second base. So he knew he had him gunned down the whole time. But that'll do it for this 4th inning as we head to the top of the 5th inning. And Tate Carey, always the first Michigan player out on the diamond. He doesn't have to hit, which probably plays into the fact, but he always seems so eager and so ready to get back on the mound. And he's been pitching very well so far today. 70 pitches through 4 innings so far, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 earned run after a couple doubles in the top of the 3rd, but then bounced back with a scoreless inning in the top of the 4th. And due up for the Spartans, it's going to be the number 9 hitter, Jake Dresselhaus, then Ryan McKay, and then Randy Seymour, the 2nd and 3rd baseman. And their Spartans need some offensive production. Have just gotten 1 run on 4 hits through these first 4 innings, and like I said, Tate Carey has been hot. He's been hot, and we'll see if he continues his great pitching, giving up 4 hits so far today, but just one run off those hits.
And you make a good point. I mean, you gotta, if you're a Michigan fan, you're probably pretty happy to see that eagerness from him to just get out there and keep up what he's been doing. So it'll be we'll see if the Spartans can get any more runs off him. But the way it's looking now, looking unlikely.
Definitely, and there's been some great pitching from the Wolverines this series. Kurt Barr got the win in the first game. Then David Lally Jr. got the win yesterday after pitching 6 2/3. And then in the first game, the Wolverine bullpen just allowed 1 run. Preston Barr, Kurt's brother, came in to replace him, and Brandon Mann, they both combined to pitch those last 3 innings, just giving up 1 run. And here's Dresselhaus. First pitch, whole show bunt, but takes it away. But that one's called for a strike. 0-1 the count here in the top of the 5th. Second pitch to Dresselhaus is fouled back. Quickly makes the count 0-2. Dresselhaus looking for his first extra base hit of the season. Averaging 203. 0-2 pitch misses for a ball. That'll make the count 1-2. Carey couldn't get the fastball in there. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Carey gets his 6th strikeout of the day, striking out the 9-hole hitter and Jake Dresselhaus. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. And the Wolverine fans are really, really loving it. They were only giving the cowboy hats out to kids, and I was a little upset about that because I really wanted one, but you know, it's okay. Ryan McKay will show bunt for the first pitch here of his at-bat. That one misses, though, for a ball. McKay singled in the first but was stranded at second, but doubled in the third, and Caleb Berry drove him in with a double down the left field line. And he'll have a bit of a swinging bunt towards second base, and Mitch Voit, who's playing deep, can't field it cleanly, tried to go for the bare hand, but a heads-up play there from Ryan McKay with a swinging bunt. You don't see that too often, do you?
Definitely not.
I wasn't sure. Could you tell that's what he was trying to do when he was up there? I was not expecting a swinging bunt, especially after going 2 for 2 already.
No, it was unclear. I was expecting a swing for sure, but
it's a 1-out base runner for the Spartans. First pitch to Randy Seymour is popped up into no man's land in the right field, and that's caught by Braden Jeffries just in foul territory, and a 1-pitch out here for the second out. The top of the 5th. Randy Seymour first pitch swinging, as Jeffries came speeding in to catch that one. Ibarra, Voit, and Jeffries all were tracking that pop fly. Carey will check up on McKay at first. Caleb Berry, the senior DH now, 1 for 2 on the day. Doubled in the Spartans' only run in the third. Here's the first pitch to him, and that one's lined hard into left field. Kim tracking back, and he can't make the catch. It's off his glove. McKay's rounding third. He'll go to home, and the throw is not going to be in time, as Jonathan Kim looked like he had that one in his glove, but unable to reel it in. That's going to score another run for the Spartans after that one was lined hard from the 3-hole hitter, Caleb Berry. We'll see what they rule that.
Yeah, Jonathan Kim, he was watching it all the way back. It looked like he was tracking it, and then it just seemed to have so much juice on it that he just couldn't couldn't bring it in, and that leads to one more run for the Spartans.
Cuts the lead to 4 now. And that brings up Sam Bush. First pitch swinging. He rifles that one down the right field line, but that'll go into the Michigan State bullpen. 0-1 the count here. Bush walked in the first, flew out to left in the third, and that one's ruled an error on Jonathan Kim. Cost the Wolverines a run. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Bush. That one's outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. 2 gone here in the top of the 5th. 1 run home for the Spartans off the Jonathan Kim error in left field. The 1-1 pitch is outside for a ball. Carey could not get the breaking ball in there. Makes the count 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Just misses that outside corner. Makes the count 3-1 here. Carey, who thought he might have been out of this inning, has got more pitches to throw now. Here's the 3-1 to Bush. Catches the outside corner there. Nice fastball from Carey. Runs the count full here. 3-2, 2 outs. Barry will most likely be running on this pitch. Here's the 3-2 pitch. He's not going, and now he'll go as that one gets by. Excuse me. He would not have been going. He was at second. There was no one on first. That is my fault, guys. But he advanced. It was a pass ball on that full count pitch. Matt Spear could not pick that one up. So Barry will head on to third base. That'll put runners at the corners for the Spartans here.
And they're threatening to score a couple more here, so we'll see.
Big out to get now for Tate Carey with Parker Pico at the plate. First pitch to him is low and outside. And Matt Spear will walk up to his pitcher Carey and just let him cool off for a second, as Carey thought he might have been out of this inning after that line drive to left field, but Jonathan Kim couldn't reel it in, and now Michigan State's threatening to score at least one more run with Caleb Barry in scoring position at third base. One 0 the count here to Pico. The 1-0 is in there for a called strike. Nice pitch there from Tate Carey, painting the corners. Carey will check up on Bush at first base. Bush gets back in time easily. 1-1 the count here to Pico. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lined back over the press box. That'll make the count 1-2 here. Carey has got a way out of this inning. 1 run home already for the Spartans. One-two pitch here. Swung on and fouled hard down the right field line. Another one into the parking lot. We haven't had one in a while, I feel like. But always gets the nerves going if you're a fan that parked there. We knew better. 1-2 the count here to Pico. Carey will check up on Bush at first base again. Bush dives in head first fairly easily. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Pico goes down swinging, Carey strands 2 runners, works around the Jonathan Kim error. 1 run comes home for the Spartans that inning, but take Carey, not letting his fielder's error phase him, and strikes out Parker Pico, swinging to end the inning. Wolverines have a 4-run lead here as Picor will step back on the mound here for the Michigan State Spartans. Logan Picor.
The Spartans certainly not out of this one yet. If they can continue to hold the Wolverines to just 6 runs, they may have something left to say in this game yet here in this series.
Yeah, I mean, chipping away slightly at this Wolverine lead. You know, the big first inning from the Wolverines, that's really been all the offense for the Wolverines today. It's, you know, a couple hits against Brewer, and then now we've got Picor in the game, who's given up 1 single. But other than that, it was really just that big first inning, and Nolan Higgins just unfortunately did not have his best stuff today, and just able to get the 1 out in the first. And
how about that bunt from McKay this past inning that proved to earn the run? Yeah, most
definitely. I mean, a bit of a swinging bunt. Mitch Voit was playing deep at second base, about 5 or 6 steps into the outfield, and yeah, you know, I was a little surprised. He was 2 for 2 on the day already. It's like, why are you going for a bunt? But a heads-up play from McKay, seriously, and he ended up scoring the run for the Wolverines. So, I mean, excuse me, for the Spartans. So, you know, big heads-up play, got the runner on base, and Spartans chipping away at this Wolverine lead here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You're tuned into WCBN Sports, official student voice of Michigan athletics. It's been a pleasure here at Ray Fisher Stadium, as we'll start here in the bottom of the 5th with Cole Caruso. Caruso walked in the first, struck out swinging in the second. Third baseman. First pitch from Picor. And that one's grounded towards the shortstop. Nice play from Murphy. The throw across the diamond, not in time. Caruso just beat that one out. Dayton Murphy had to track to his right and throw across his body there, as that one was in between him and his third baseman, Randy Seymour, and just not able to get quite enough on that throw to first, and Caruso is able to beat it out for the infield single. That'll bring up Jeter Ibarra. Drove in the first runs for the Wolverines in that 6-run first inning. Here's the first pitch to him. That one's outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. The count, Caruso on first base. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside to Ibarra. Makes the count 2-0. Pitch here to Ibarra. That one's upstairs for a ball. Quickly makes the count 3-0. Again, it was the free bases that the Wolverines got. 2 walks and a hit batter in that first inning, which really made the damage worse. Here's the 3-0 pitch, in there for a strike. 3-1 the count now to Ibarra. Ibarra looked like he was taking all the way there on 3-0. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Caruso goes. The throw down from Bright is in time. Got him. A nice throw there from Noah Bright. Second runner he's gunned down today. Cole Caruso, who had not been caught stealing yet on the season, was 3 for 3. But Noah Bright got a he's got a gun behind home plate, and he's showed it off today, helping out his pitchers who definitely needed with the 6-run deficit that they started this game off with. But that'll run the count full here for Jeter Ibarra. One gone here. Here's the full count pitch. Swung on and lined hard, foul. Kind of close to that Wolverines bullpen. Will land up on the roof here. We can actually see the ball rolling around. But that'll keep the count full here for Jeter Ibarra. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled down the right field line. Looks like it hit one of the coaches of the Spartans. Snuck in their dugout over there. He had to get out the way quickly, but hopefully he's okay. It looks like wasn't any real damage done, but full count still here to Ibarra.
I'm sure the Cars have seen worse than.
Exactly. Here's the full count pitch. Swung on and popped up in the infield. Murphy's tracking it, and he'll make the grab there for the second out. For a second, it looked like Wolverines were going to have 2 men on with no outs. It was 3-0 to Ibarra, but then Caruso caught stealing at second, and then Ibarra flies out, pops up to short. And 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 5th, and it brings up the left fielder, Jonathan Kim, who the top of the 5th was unable to catch a line drive from Barry, which led to Michigan State scoring their second run. And Hull ground the first pitch hard to Bush, but a nice diving grab from Bush, and Hull tossed that to Picour, who came from the pitcher's mound to make the out. But a great play there from Sam Bush, the first baseman, to get the Spartans out of the bottom of the 5th scoreless, and that'll take us into the top of the 6th inning. Due up for the Spartans. It's going to be JT Sokolov, Noah Bright, who just threw out Cole Caruso, his second runner thrown out on the day. And then it'll be Dayton Murphy, the shortstop. 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Spartans. And Tate Carey's still on the mound for the Wolverines. 89 pitches on the day. 7 strikeouts already, 2 walks, 2 runs, 1 of those earned. Just 5 hits in 5 innings pitched, so has got his ERA down to under 4 at 3.93, and has really got some of his best stuff right now. Tate Carey, Michigan Wolverines pitcher. Started off the game with a 4.26 ERA, and it's down to 3.93 already. 36 2/3 innings pitched. And he'll try to get through this 6th inning for the Wolverines. First 2 games, both Wolverine starters got through 6th. Kurt Barr pitched 6 2/3, in that first game of the series. He pitched 6 innings in the first game of the series on Friday. Game 2, David Lally pitched 6 2/3 innings. Both those pitchers were the pitcher of record, got the win. David Lally Jr. just gave up 2 hits through his 6 2/3 innings pitched, and 1 run with 4 strikeouts. But great pitching for the Wolverines so far. Here's JT Sokolov, who takes the first pitch upstairs for a ball here in the top of the 6th inning. 6-2 your score here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Second pitch to Sokolov is low and outside for a ball. That'll make the count 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is flied down the right field line. Ooh. Looks like it hit a car, but that's not our problem. 2-1 the count here to JT Sokolov. Here's the pitch. Holshow bunt, and that one almost hits him. He had to jump out of the way there. He's got a smile on his face, though.
Maybe a bit of overdoing.
Yeah, made it look like it was a lot closer than it was. Whole line, the 3-1 pitch hard into left center field. That'll get down off the wall. He heads to second, and Ole stop there standing with a leadoff double. JT Sokolov with his first hit of the day gets a leadoff base runner here for the Spartans in scoring position. He crushed that 3-1 pitch into that left center field corner right in between Jonathan and Kim and Greg Pace Jr. He just missed a ground rule double as that bounced off that yellow line at the top of the wall, right at the 26 NCAA regional appearances little symbol that they've got out in left center field. And that's going to do it for Tate Carey today. He'll head off the mound after a great outing. 5 innings pitched, 2 runs given up, 1 earned, and 6 hits, excuse me. And excuse me, there was a switch. Thank you for pointing that out, Connor. It looks like Robert Hamchuk came into left field for Jonathan Kim. And after Kim gave up that error, they're going to replace him. We'll see if it's a defensive or offensive replacement for the Wolverines. But Will Rogers will get on the mound for the Wolverines. The junior was the starter for the Wolverines on Wednesday against Bowling Green. Excuse me, on Tuesday. Strong start from Will Rogers. He got the win on Tuesday against Bowling Green, and he'll come into the game now. The junior, he's got a 4.25 ERA on the season with 29 strikeouts, 42 1/3 innings pitched. He's a two-way player, but we've mostly seen him on the mound this season out of Shoreview, Michigan. Has been really a reliable guy for the Wolverines this season, and he'll come in here the top of the 6th, trying to keep this Wolverine lead as the leadoff double from JT Sokolov puts him in scoring position with nobody gone here in the top of the 6th. It'll be Noah Bright, the catcher, due up for the Michigan State Spartans. Noah Bright has thrown out 2 runners on the day, has been really helping out his pitchers. And like I said, the first runner he threw out was 2 outs, and I think it was Braden Jeffries who was trying to steal second, and Noah Bright threw it down there. And before the ball even got to second base, and before the shortstop Murphy tagged him out, Bright was already walking towards his dugout. That's how confident he was that he had thrown out Jeffries, and he was right. But now he'll hit, still looking for his first home run of the season. First pitch from Rogers is grounded to Casillas at short, and he'll throw out Bright by a stride at first. A nice pick there from Ibarra, and Sokolov will have to hold up at second base. One pitch, 1 out for Will Rogers to start off this top of the 6th. It'll bring up Dayton Murphy, freshman shortstop, also looking for his first home run of the season. First pitch from Rogers. That's grounded hard to Casillas. He'll go to third as Sokolov was trying to get to third base on that ground ball, and he's tagged out at third base, and no more runner in scoring position for the Spartans. An aggressive move there from JT Sokolov, and it does not pay off. he was going all the way on contact, and Casillas made the heads-up play to throw to third, and that's two men gone here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, you can see where he might be thinking we gotta score some runs here, but does not pay off.
Down 4 runs though in the top of the 6th. It's a question. It's an interesting move there from JT Sokolov. He was already in scoring position, and you know that move did not pay off. Now the number 9 hitter Drake Dresselhaus took the first pitch for a strike. Second pitch is outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. But yeah, the general rule is if you're at second and the ball is hit to your right, you don't go. But he went. And the 1-1 pitch from Dresselhaus is grounded into right field. And that'll be a single for Dresselhaus. Murphy will head first to third, and that'll put runners at the corners for the Michigan State Spartans. And now, really can't be too happy about JT Sokolov, as he would have probably scored on that single from Dresselhaus. But that'll turn the lineup card over here for the Spartans, bring up their leadoff hitter, Ryan McKay, who's 3 for 3 on the day. Singled in the first, doubled in the second, and singled again in the 5th. Has scored both the runs for the Spartans today. First pitch to him is in the dirt. 1-0 the count here. Murphy on third, Dresselhaus on first. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch from Rogers, and that's swung on and popped up. Casillas tracking there. Here comes Hamchuk. He'll call him off, and that'll end the inning. Will Rogers comes in and works around a couple base hits and some questionable base running from JT Sokolov. And that'll be a scoreless 6th inning for the Wolverines. And we'll head into the bottom of the 6th. Due up for the Wolverines is going to be the bottom third of the order. Matt Spear, the catcher. Keegan O'Hearn. And then Gregory Pace Jr. O'Hearn got his first extra base hit and first RBI of the season in the first inning when he doubled off of Nolan Higgins. And we've got a hula hoop contest now here on the field. We've got some of these young Wolverine fans trying their best at the hula hoop competition. And you love to see all the activities they've got here for the kids at Ray Fisher Stadium. We'll come back on the broadcaster cam, say hello again. Thanks for tuning in to WCBN Sports. Pecor will stay on the mound here for the Spartans, as he's pitched pretty well since he came in. 2 innings pitched, just two hits given up. Still yet to strike out about her, but no runs have come home since he stepped on the mound. Really, it was all in that first inning for the Wolverines, and Nolan Higgins, like we said, could not turn it on today, has struggled with control all season, and showed that today with those two walks and one hit batter in the bottom of the first. But the Wolverines have got a 4-run lead here as we head into the bottom of the 6th. 8 hits so far. 6 runs scored for the Wolverines, 1 error for the Wolverines. That was a Jonathan Kim drop line drive, which led to a run for the Michigan State Spartans, their 2nd run, and he was actually replaced by Robert Hamchuk in left field. And that'll bring up the catcher, Matt Spear. 2 for 2 today. Had a 2 RBI single in the first, then singled again in the 3rd, but was left stranded at first. Spear batting from the left side. First pitch to him is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Oh-1 pitch here. That one's low for a ball. 1-1 the count. Pecor does not pitch out the windup. even when there are no runners on base, strictly out of the stretch. He's got a high knee kick, though, brings his knee up real high. The 1-1 pitch is in there for a strike. Got the breaking ball in there for a called strike. I keep looking over at the Big Ten crew, Alex and Owen over here, and it looks like every time I look over, they're just laughing about something, you know. It's great they're having a great time. I mean, so are we. It's just a great day to be out here. The 1-2 pitch is oh, no, it's grounded down the first base line, and that's a fair ball. Smear did not start running when he hit that. Probably thought it was foul, and that's an easy play there for Sam Bush at first base, who grounded that right next to the bag and then just stepped on first. That'll bring up Keegan O'Hearn, the DH. Also bats left. First pitch to him is inside for a ball. O'Hearn could not play last year because he was injured, but getting bits of playing time this season, his first start today. And he lines the 1-0 pitch into right field for a base hit, his second hit of the day. That's a one-out base runner here for the Wolverines. Squared up that 1-0 breaking ball past Ryan McKay, the second baseman. And that brings up Greg Pace Jr., who had a great first two games. Drove in 4 runs with a 3-run homer in the first game, and then went 4 for 4 with a solo home run yesterday. 0 for 2 so far today. Struck out swinging both times in the first and the third. First pitch to Pace. In the dirt, but a nice job there from Bright to block that. Seems like Bright is just a really solid defensive catcher. I mean, he's really put on a show today and has been picking up, you know, helping out his pitchers who, you know, I mean, Higgins has really been the only one that struggled, but love to have a solid guy behind the plate like Noah Bright. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Pace Jr. Swing and a miss. Swung over that breaking ball there from Pecor. Makes the count 1-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. O'Hearn on first. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Pecor. Catches the outside corner there. Nice breaking ball there from Pecor. Makes the count 1-2 to Greg Pace Jr., center fielder.
And he's been struck out 2 times today already. So
here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's low for a ball. 2-2 the count. Keegan O'Hearn has yet to attempt to steal a base this season. We'll see if he tries today. Wolverines up 4 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Pace Jr. Swing and a miss. Got him with the slider. That's the 3rd strikeout for Greg Pace Jr. on the day. It was unlikely he was going to go, 4 for 4 2 days in a row, so he's kind of regressing back to the mean today, but I doubt it'll slow him down too much the way Greg Pace Jr. has been hitting. But that'll flip the lineup card over, bring up Benny Casillas, who's 3 for 3 on the day. All singles. Singled twice in the first. As we said already, first pitch to him is low and outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th. Keegan O'Hearn at first. Casillas at the plate. Pecor on the mound for the Spartans. Here's the pitch from Pecor. Swing and a miss. Casillas fooled by that breaking ball. That'll be 1-1. That'll make the count 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and lined up the middle, and McKay will step on second base. He fielded that pretty cleanly for the third out of the bottom of the sixth, but 5 straight scoreless innings from these Michigan State Spartan pitchers, but still a 4-run lead for the Wolverines as Will Rogers heads back on the mound after pitching a scoreless inning in the top of the sixth, and he'll be back out there here in the top of the seventh. We'll come back on the broadcaster cam, or for a second. Got to change the inning real quick to the seventh, but it's really been a beautiful day of baseball today. Especially an exciting first inning. The scoring started out with that close play at home when JT Sokolov rifled in a throw from center field after Jeter Ibarra singled. Casillas scored it easily, but then Voit, who had to hold up quickly as Ibarra's line drive just got over the glove of Dayton Murphy, the shortstop for the Spartans, and then it was a close play at home, and I thought they got Voit. It looked like the throw was in time, but Noah Bright had to reach across his body to tag Mitch Voit, so he wasn't able to get him. Umpires reviewed it for a while. It was like a 3 to 4 minute review.
Yeah, they took their time.
It really was a close play, but the call on the field stayed as safe, and those first 2 runs of the bottom of the first started a streak for the Wolverines. They went on to score 4 more runs. 10 batters were able to hit for the Wolverines in that bottom of the first, and that's been all their offense today, and it's all they've really needed so far today, especially, I mean, how great has this Wolverine pitching been this series?
Really impressive stuff, and yeah, they haven't even needed to extend the lead, but we'll see if they can keep up that great defense in this top of the seventh.
Most definitely. That'll bring up Randy Seymour, the third baseman. Caleb Berry, then Sam Bush after him. Here's the first pitch from Rogers. Swung on and popped up high into shallow left center field. And Robert Hamchuk is going to track that one and make the grab. 1 pitch, 1 out for Will Rogers here in the top of the seventh.
Designated hitter number 31, Caleb Berry.
That'll bring up Caleb Berry, the DH. Berry reached on an error in the 5th. That was that dropped line drive from Jonathan Kim in left field. Here's the first pitch to him, and that's on the outside corner for a strike. Nice fastball there from Will Rogers. And that one's chopped to third base. Caruso coming in, makes the throw, and beats Caleb Berry for the second out of the inning. That 3 pitches, 2 outs already in this top of the seventh for Will Rogers. So he's working very, very efficiently. Just 10 pitches so far in an inning and 2/3 from Will Rogers.
Making quick work.
Making quick work, and obviously he's very confident in his fielders. Here's the first pitch to Sam Bush, who's walked twice today, 0 for 1, flied out in the 3rd, walked in the 1st and the 5th. Bush, the cleanup hitter today. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him, and he lines that one hard down the right field line, drifting, and that's gone! Home run! Sam Bush, that just snuck inside the foul pole. I thought that was drifting foul, but that's going to be a solo home run for Sam Bush and cut the lead here to 3. Sam Bush, the cleanup hitter, gets his 12th home run of the year. Rifled that one down the right field line, and
it just kept going.
It just kept going, and it looked like it was drifting foul from the angle we had, but it did not. That one snuck right to the left of that foul pole in right field, and cuts the lead here to 3, 6-3 Wolverines. Parker Pico now at the plate. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. Pico's 0 for 3 on the day. Struck out swinging in the first and the fifth. Popped up to short in the third. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Pico. That one's on the outside corner for a strike. Nice pitch from Rogers. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and popped high up, straight up. Spear has got to move a few steps, but he'll make the grab, and that'll be the third out of the inning, but not before Sam Bush, the cleanup hitter, rifled a solo home run, a line drive home run, just straight down the right field line, just snuck in to the left of that foul pole in left field, but Spartans slowly chipping away at this Wolverine lead.
Definitely, and yeah, at the rate it's moving, they could be tied by the end of this. So the Wolverines, Michigan is comfortable with a three-run lead, but I wouldn't say they are. If it keeps moving at the pace that it's going, they won't be in the lead for much longer. So.
No, but just 2 more innings at bat for the Spartans. So it's getting down to it. So we'll have a new pitcher on the mound for the Spartans. It's going to be Gannon Grunman, the sophomore left-handed pitcher. 5.96 ERA on the season, 22 2/3 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts, 11 walks. 1-2 record on the season. Leadoff batters are hitting 400 against him, though, so we'll see how Braden Jeffries, the 2-hitter, fares off against him. It'll be Jeffries, Voit, and then Caruso for the Wolverines. Just 1 hit from the 2, 3, and 4 hitters on the day today. That was I believe it was a double from Cole Caruso. Hit from Cole Caruso, the cleanup hitter. But we'll see how Braden Jeffries, the freshman, fares out against this new pitcher for the Spartans as they try to stay in this game. They've chipped away against the Wolverines, but it hasn't been enough so far. Still down 3 runs as we head into the bottom of the 7th here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, from Ray Fisher Stadium here at the Wilpon Baseball and Softball Complex. It's been an honor and a pleasure calling this game so far with you, Connor. I'm very glad to be here. Like I've said, it's my final broadcast for WCBN, which is really bittersweet. It's a bittersweet moment. I've had a great time, calling different games, different sports for this club that really is just such an amazing opportunity that you have here at the University of Michigan. All the great sports teams that we have. I mean, our athletic programs are just unbelievable, the baseball team included. And it's just such a privilege and pleasure to be able to call these games, be in the press box here. And I'm really, we're getting down to it. Just two and a half, or maybe more, 2.5 more innings of baseball here, and 2.5 more innings of probably my broadcasting career. But it's a bittersweet moment, and I'm happy to share it with everyone tuned in today. It's really been a fun day and a beautiful day for baseball. Perfect weather, and the fans, Wolverine fans, are loving it. Wolverines are have a 3-run lead, and we got a pinch hitter here for the Wolverines. It will not be Braden Jeffries. It's going to be Colby Turner, the junior infielder. First pitch to him is in there for a called strike from Grunman. Got the slider in there. Here's the second pitch, the 0-1. That one swung on and fouled down the right field line, but and it was just in the bullpen of the Spartans. It looked like Pico had a chance to reach over the wall there and grab it, but unable to. a close play there. But that'll run the count to 0-2 here on Colby Turner. (0-2) count here. Grundman on the mound for the Spartans. Hull deliver the pitch. Swung on and chopped to the third baseman, Seymour. Hull rifled it over to first, excuse me. That'll be the first out of the bottom of the 7th here. And bring up Mitch Voit. Voit walked in the first, ended up scoring second run for the Wolverines in that bottom of the first, but flew out to left in the second, and then flew out to right in the 4th. 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the first pitch to him, and that's going to hit him in the foot. That'll be his second free bag of the day. We'll have to shake that one off. So caught him off guard a little bit, but that's a 1-out base runner here for the Wolverines.
So Cole Caruso makes his 4th plate appearance, and we'll see if the Wolverines can just extend their lead here late in the game. And
here's Caruso, first pitch to him, swung on and fouled back. Finally, we got another foul ball in the parking lot. There was a run there where it seemed like every foul ball anyone was hitting was going into that parking lot.
Yeah.
But not anymore, I guess. 0-1 the count here to Caruso. Here's the pitch, and swung on and fouled. That'll make the count 0-2. Could not quite get a piece of that, or a solid piece of that breaking ball from Grundman. (0-2) the count now to Caruso. Here's the pitch from Grundman. Swung on and grounded hard. Diving stop there from Murphy, who will throw to second and get Voit out. What a play there from Dayton Murphy. Had to dive to his right, got the backhanded pick, and then threw out Voit by a step at second base. Really only had a chance at second. He was not going to get that ball all the way to first, but what a play, Connor.
Impressive, yeah. He really just turned that around, or on a dime, really, and collected the ball and made the short throw to second, but able to get the ball ahead of the runner, and
threw that off one knee from short and just got it to McKay at second. That'll bring up Jeter Ibarra, the first baseman here. Drove in the first runs for the Wolverines, and Hull hit that through the hole on the left side of the infield for a base hit. First pitch swinging was Jeter Ibarra. And that'll put 2 runners on here for the Wolverines. Caruso moves up to second. And that brings up Robbie Hamchuk, subbed in for Jonathan Kim earlier in the game. And love his walk-up song. This is the theme to George Lopez.
That's right, yeah.
And that's just a nostalgic show for me. Love to hear it from Robbie Hamchuk, senior left fielder. First pitch is in there for a strike. Hamchuk's got 2 home runs on the season, but still no doubles. So he's looking for his first double of the season. Or, you know, maybe he'd rather just hit another homer. Here's the 0-1 pitch to him, 2 outs. Swung on and fouled into the parking lot. Wrong the right field line. Quickly makes the count 0-2 to Hamchuk. 59 at-bats and no doubles. Really, really interesting stat line there. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Grundman got him on the high fastball, and that'll do it for the Wolverines here in the 7th as we head into the top of the 8th. Due up for the Spartans, it'll be JT Sokolov, Noah Bright, and Dayton Murphy, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. But Grundman able to work around a couple base hits there from the Wolverines. Well, a base hit and a hit by pitch. Voit was hit by the pitch. But a great play. Just want to go back to that play from Dayton Murphy. He was shaded towards second base, and Caruso hit that way to his right, and he really had to dive out fully. He stretched out fully, got to the ball, threw it off of one knee, and just beat Voit at second base to get the force out. But really, love to see it. And Will Rogers will come back on the mound here for the Wolverines in the top of this 8th inning. Wolverines up 6-3 here in Ann Arbor. Final game of this 3-game in-state rivalry series as the Michigan Wolverines have hosted the Michigan State Spartans, their in-state rivals and Big Ten Conference opponents. They took the first 2 games of the series and are 2 innings away from getting the sweep after getting swept last week by the Iowa Hawkeyes on their home turf as well. But it would be a great way to come back from that tough conference series where their bats really couldn't do too much, and pitchers struggled as well in that series. But it's really been a whole nother story these past 3 days.
Very much so. And it's been just almost a 180 turnaround. So it's good to see, and we'll anticipate them seeing the sweep through here. And
yeah. Sorry.
No.
Here's JT Sokolov, 1 for 3 on the day. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. JT struck out swinging in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd in the 4th, but then doubled in the 6th, but was left at 2nd. Here's the 1-0. He'll show bunt, take it away, but that one gets called for a strike by Justin Robinson, home plate umpire. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one just misses upstairs for a ball. 2-1 now the count here to JT Sokolov. Two-1 pitch is a swing and a miss there on the breaking ball. On the fastball from Will Rogers. But that'll make the count 2-2, and Sokolov will take a timeout here, gather himself. Swung way over that one, it looked like, right?
Yeah. No. Did not come close.
2-2 the count here. 2-2. That one's lined into center field. Pace Jr. coming in, and he'll get there in time for the first out here of the top of the 8th. And that'll bring up Noah Bright, senior catcher.
Made some big plays on defense today. We'll see if he can do the same on offense.
Yeah, 0 for 3 so far on the day, Bright. Struck out in the 2nd, lined out to 2nd in the 4th, and then grounded out to short in the 6th. First pitch to him is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Second pitch to Bright is outside for a ball. Makes the count 1-1. 1-1 is lined hard into left field. Hamchuk shading over, and he'll cut that one off and make the grab. Hamchuk had an immediate beat on that ball and went straight to it. Really did not hesitate at all.
No, not for a second.
So maybe the defensive switch paying off there, as that was a tough play, and Hamchuk, who came into left field, was not starting initially. Makes a good play there for the second out. Brings up Dayton Murphy. First pitch to him just misses outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Spartans 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position today. Second pitch from Rogers is lined right at Hamchuk. Okay, excuse me. Colby Turner and Hamchuk switched. So Turner was the one who made the play in left field. Hamchuk just made the final out in right field. That is my fault. But nonetheless, 3 outs. Quick 3 outs from Will Rogers in that top of the 8th, and just 3 more outs for the Spartans before they'll have to head home. They'll have to head out of here after being swept by their in-state rivals, the Michigan Wolverines. But Grunman will head back up on the mound, and they'll start playing Mr. Brightside here at Ray Fisher Stadium. It's a very nostalgic song, isn't it, for us Michigan students?
All the feels, yeah. Just something about it really captures, you know, how great, how lucky we are to be able to, you know, see Michigan athletics in person. And as you were saying earlier, it's been just a privilege to be able to cover Michigan athletics for the for WCBN, the official student voice of Michigan athletics. And I've had I made a lot of great memories doing this. So I hope you know, we were talking about this earlier. I'm maybe a less experienced member of the organization, but I'm always happy to come out and just enjoy some sports, and that's why we do it. So you know, thanks for having me here with you, Jonas.
Of course, it's been a pleasure. I mean, the first WCBN broadcast I did was with Connor. We called a soccer game. I believe, was it against Rutgers?
I think so. I think
it was a 3-2 win for the Wolverines back last year. Game-winning, crazy free kick that was scored by the Wolverines, I remember. It was a great game, fun game to call. I believe we had some technical difficulties, so we had to split up the second half. We didn't get to call the first half, and but so fun nonetheless. And just since then, I've been, you know, doing a lot for this club. Connor writes for the Michigan Daily. We're both seniors though. We're graduating in less than a week, which is insane. Commencement on Saturday. It's a very exciting, bittersweet feeling. But we'll head back here into the bottom of the 8th inning. It's going to be Matt Spear, the catcher for the Wolverines. After him, Keegan O'Hearn, then Gregory Pace Jr. First pitch from Grunman. Swung on and grounded to second base. McKay, easy play for him, throws to first. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th here for Grunman. That'll bring up Keegan O'Hearn, the DH, who got his first start today and has done pretty well for himself. 2 for 3 at the plate on the day. Doubled in his first RBI in the first and singled in the 6th. First pitch to him is inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Pitch outside for a ball. 2-0 here to O'Hearn. O'Hearn, the Canadian. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and fouled back. Two-1 the count now to O'Hearn. 2-1 pitch, and that hits him on the shoulder. Grunman lost control of that breaking ball there, and O'Hearn didn't even acted like nothing even hit him.
Yeah.
He kind of just he
Kinda
like
just-
looked back as if, you know, he wasn't sure if that ball hit him, but he'll take the free base. And that'll bring up Greg Pace Jr. as struck out swinging his three times at the plate today. First pitch to Pace Jr. He'll show bunt, but he'll take it away as that one was outside. 1-0 the count. Pace Jr. homered in the first 2 games of the series. And he'll show bunt again, but that'll get away from the catcher, Bright, and O'Hearn will try to go down to second, but he was out by a mile. That's the 3rd runner thrown out by Noah Bright today. O'Hearn saw the ball get away from Bright, but Bright got to it quickly, and he's got a very accurate and strong arm, as we've seen today. 3rd runner caught stealing. Here's the 2-0 to Pace Jr. That's way inside. Makes the count 3-0.
Yeah, the Wolverines runners have been asking questions of Bright, and he's come up with the answers every time. So,
you know, starting the game with a 6-run lead, you know, you kind of give a little leeway to your base runners in terms of being aggressive, and really hasn't paid off at all for the Wolverines, but still holding on to a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the 3-0 to Pace Jr. That catches the inside corner for a strike, 3-1. And here's the 3-1 pitch from Grunman out of the windup. Swing and a miss from Pace Jr. Ahead of that cutter. And that'll make the count 3-2 here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Greg Pace Jr. Here's the full count pitch. Checks his swing, and he'll take the free base. Noah Bright checks with first base umpire Sean Howard, but Howard gives the safe signal, and that'll flip the lineup card over. Benny Casillas will come back up to the plate, 3 for 4 on the day, 3 singles, 2 in the first, 1 in the 4th. Casillas got his first home run of the season last week against Iowa. It was to lead off the game, lead off Sunday's game, but Wolverines could not get a win in that series as they were swept by their Big Ten conference opponents, but now they're on their way to a sweeping the Michigan State Spartans themselves. Here, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Greg Pace Jr. on first base, Casillas at the plate. Grunman will check up on Pace Jr. at first, but Jr. gets in safely without too much stress. He'll check up on Greg Pace Jr. again. Two outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Casillas still has not seen a pitch from Grunman. Here's the first one to him. That's on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Won the count here to Casillas. The 0-1 is lined into right center field. That'll get cut off by the center fielder Sokolov. Pace Jr. will go first to third, but that's a single there for Benny Casillas. A nice piece of hitting there. Now the Michigan Wolverines will have runners at the corners here with 2 outs, with Colby Turner, the sophomore left fielder, due up. Turner pinch hit for Braden Jeffries in the 7th, grounded out to third. Turner out of Huntington Beach, California, is a transfer from San Diego State. Can play left and right field, but also can play at third base as well. 6-foot sophomore out of California. Where's Huntington Beach in relation to Oakland, Connor?
Huntington Beach is Southern California.
Is that like close to LA?
It's LA area.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, beautiful place.
I'm sure. Have you been?
I have not been myself.
Okay, got it.
It is, just your standard Southern California beach town.
Okay, and looks like we're going to have a pitching change here for the Michigan State Spartans. His glove is covering his number. It's looks like it's going to be looks like it's going to be Tommy Shapansky, number 14, the junior right-handed pitcher out of Bay City, Michigan, the Virginia Tech transfer. And he'll step in here for the Spartans and try to keep the Wolverines from adding more runs to this lead, as Spartans would like to have a chance in the top of the 9th inning. We'll have their number 9 hitter, Jake Dresselhaus, leading off, then Ryan McKay, then Randy Seymour as the lineup card will flip over. But Colby Turner up to bat here for the Wolverines with runners at the corners. Benny Casillas on first, Gregory Pace Jr. on third. But Spartans have chipped away at this Wolverine lead, but still down 3 runs and trying to keep it to 3 runs here. Greg Pace Jr. walked on a full count earlier in the inning, and then Casillas singled to right center, both with 2 outs. Gregory Pace went first to third, and now with runners at the corners, Michigan Wolverines have a chance to get some insurance here as they head into the 9th inning, try and get this sweep of the Michigan State Spartans. And I don't want to talk about the socks too much, but I do really like the stirrups from the Spartans. I already said that. And I did notice the Wolverines also all have the same style of pants. I don't know if that is, something that's required, if you're allowed, if one of the Wolverines wants to wear high socks, if they can. But I think both teams, Wolverines have got their maize jerseys on today. I should have made that clear earlier. It's a maize out here at Ray Fisher Stadium, as we've said. So in those bright yellow tops and white striped pants. And here's the first pitch to Turner from Shapansky. That's outside for a ball. Turner hitting .244 on the season. Hitting .163 with 2 outs, though. And he'll pop that one up sky high. Bush will come over the first baseman, and another kind of I wouldn't say it's a major league pop-up. That one was sky high, and looks like they were struggling to see that in this bright blue sky here in Ann Arbor. But that'll take us into the top of the 9th inning. Will Rogers back on the mound for the Wolverines. He'll look to get the save here for Michigan and close out the series with a sweep of their in-state rivals, the Michigan State Spartans. Exactly how you want to bounce back after getting swept by Big Ten leaders, Iowa Hawkeyes, last week.
Totally, pretty impressive response. And yeah, just all around pretty good performance today from the Wolverines.
Most definitely, and really got to highlight these Wolverines pitchers so far over these 3 games. Just 7 runs given up total. And it's really, their offense has obviously picked it up, especially in those first 2 games. And the big first inning it's all Michigan has needed so far today. Scored 6 runs after Nolan Higgins, the starter for Michigan State could only get one out, only able to get through a third of an inning there in the bottom of the first. And since then, Spartans pitchers have really turned it on and kept the Wolverines scoreless, but that 6-run inning has just been too much to get back to. And we'll have a pinch hitter here for Jake Dresselhaus, the number 9 hitter. It'll be Will Shannon, the senior utility player, plays in the outfield and the infield. Senior out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. And we'll get back to it here in the top of the 9th. First pitch from Rogers, in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Shannon hitting .283 on the season. .667 when he's leading off the inning. It's a pretty crazy stat. Here's the second pitch to him, and that's outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and lined hard into center field. Pace going back to the wall, and that's off the big blue catcher's eye, or batter's eye, excuse me. And Will Shannon leading off the inning, exactly what he needed to do, what the Spartans needed. Crushed that one to deep, straight center field. Cuts the Wolverine lead to 2.
That makes this a very different last inning. And yeah, just absolutely launched that one out towards center field. It looked like for a sec, Greg Pace was heading back to grab it, but he ran out of room. And
ran out of room, yeah.
That one was gone.
Most definitely no chance for Pace Jr. Cuts the lead to 2 here. First pitch to Ryan McKay as the lineup card flips over as a ball. 1-0 the count here. Second home run given up by Rogers today. Here's the 1-0. And that catches the inside corner for a strike. Nice fastball there from Rogers. Spartans 4 runs on 9 hits. Wolverines 6 runs on 11 hits here today. All those 6 runs came on the first. Here's the 1-1. That catches the outside corner for a strike. Got the breaking ball in there. 1-2 the count here to McKay. McKay's 3 for 4 on the day. Scored the first 2 runs for the Spartans in the 3rd and the 5th. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and popped up into center field. Pace Jr. calling away Hamchuk and right, and he'll make the grab for the first out of the inning. Brings up Randy Seymour, excuse me.
Third baseman, number 35, Randy Seymour.
Seymour is 0 for 3 today. Had a sacrifice bunt in the first and struck out looking in the 3rd, flied out to right in the 5th, and flied out to left in the 7th. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count here. 6-4 Michigan Wolverines up on the Michigan State Spartans, looking for the sweep here. Will Rogers trying to get the save after coming in for Tate Carey after he pitched 5 innings. 1-1 pitch is fouled back by Randy Seymour, makes the count 1-1. The wind causing papers to fly all over the place here in the press room. That's what happens when you have the window all the way open. But 1-1 the count here. Here's the pitch from Rogers. That's in there for a strike. Called strike. 1-2 the count. Nice breaking ball there from Rogers. Started inside on Seymour and then came back into the zone. Makes the count 1-2. 1 out here. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Rogers. Swung on and fouled back by Seymour. He'll stay in the at-bat. One to the count here. to Seymour. Here's the pitch, and that's outside. First base umpire Sean Howard gave the safe call as Seymour checked his swing. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back again over the wall, over this press box into the parking lot, and Seymour will stay alive here. Two the count here. One gone in the top of the ninth. Will Rogers looking for the save. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Grounded softly, but it was off of Seymour's foot. So that's a foul ball. And they'll go back to the plate for another try. He'll take a couple seconds here, shake that one off after he fouled it off of his foot, it looked like. Infield for the Wolverines is shifted to the left. Mitch Voit is playing to the left of second base, his right. Here's the 2-2. That misses for a ball, and that runs the count full here. Due up for Spartans, Caleb Berry, the 3-hitter. Here's the full count pitch from Rogers. Swung on and fouled down the left field line, and Seymour will have another chance. Seymour really fighting to stay alive in this at-bat.
Seriously.
Will Rogers out the windup. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and lined hard into center field. Pace Jr. going back to the wall, and he'll run out of room, and that's another solo home run. Second solo home run of the inning, and that cuts the lead to 1 here in the top of the ninth. Wow. Randy Seymour.
Found almost the exact same spot as the pinch hitter did it.
As Will Shannon did when he led off the inning, yeah. No, I mean, that one was crushed. Greg Pace Jr. ran out of room, and that'll bring up Caleb Berry, representing the tying run here for the Spartans. Seymour's 4th home run of the year. 1-run lead now for the Wolverines. Will Rogers still on the mound. First pitch is popped up into foul territory. We'll see if it stays in play, but it doesn't. It drifts over into the bullpen of the Spartans. 0-1 the count now. Wow. It's really coming down to the wire here at Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. Caleb Berry at the plate for the Spartans. 1 for 4 on the day so far. Just a 1-run lead for the Wolverines now. The 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike. 0-2 the count now to Berry. Berry doubled in the first run for the Spartans back in the third, and they've been chipping away, and now just a 1-run deficit. Here's the 0-2. He went around. Strike 3 for Will Rogers, and the Spartans are down to their last out here at Ray Fisher Stadium.
And what a thrilling conclusion to this game. This is we're being treated to some exciting baseball here, which is
most definitely, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Sam Bush. Sam Bush standing almost right on top of home plate right now. Hit his 12th home run back in the 7th, and Hull swing first pitch and pop that one back up, but that'll head into the stands out of play. Got to keep your head up if you're a fan back here, as did not look like anyone was ready to catch that ball, but luckily no one was hit. and we'll keep the count at 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Rogers. Swung and line to Mitch Voit, and he'll make the diving grab to end the game, and he'll start swimming on the field. The Wolverines hold on to their lead after scoring 6 runs in the bottom of the first, and they'll take those 6 runs all the way to the top of the 9th. The Spartans fought back after some great relief pitching after Nolan Higgins was unable to get really anything done in that bottom of the first, but Will Rogers will get the save for the Wolverines. Gave up 2 solo home runs, but he did enough, and the Wolverines will get the sweep of their in-state rivals, the Michigan State Spartans.
Certainly earned the right to celebrate there. Love to see the swim celebration on the field, and yeah, they see the sweep through almost. Well, they made it close, but in the end, it was that was a commanding victory, and or a commanding first inning at least, and
Definitely.
And so it's the Wolverines. They pulled it off in the end.
Definitely. 2 solo home runs from Will Shannon and then Randy Seymour in the top of the 9th made it a 1-run game here in Ann Arbor, but Will Rogers, Tracy Smith had faith in his experienced pitcher, and for good reason. Rogers was able to force the fly out, and a nice play there from Mitch Voit at second base. He earned, like you said, he earned the swimming celebration. Started doing some freestyle. I was going to say breaststroke, but no, it was freestyle. Breaststroke is what I like to do because I'm not that great of a swimmer. But nonetheless, a great game here in Ann Arbor. Like I said before, it's my last call for WCBN. Such an honor to do it with you, Connor. Thanks for coming along, and it's really been it was an exciting finish, and Wolverines ended up getting the win, got the sweep of their Big Ten in-state rivals, the Spartans, and they will take the sweep, and the Spartans will almost got back into it, almost were able to salvage the game here in the top of the 9th, but Will Rogers and Tate Carey combining for the win. Tate Carey gets his 7th win on the season. Nolan Higgins is charged with the loss, his 4th on the season after just a third of an inning pitched for Higgins. But yeah, last broadcast for WCBN, as Connor and I, we're going to be graduating on Saturday. 6 days. Absolutely unbelievable. But shout out to the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans for putting on a show today. It was a great game, a beautiful day for baseball, and just a super fun call and broadcast. And like I said, Connor, you got anything else to say before we head off? And
oh no, I would second everything you just said. I had a great time. It was really fun. My first first and last baseball broadcast. but I was happy to be here, and thank you for having me here with you. And yeah, it's been really cool. I should take a second to highlight your accomplishments, within this club. It's been really cool to see everything you've been able to do, and just listening to some of the broadcasts you've had. And
yeah, we've got the former co-presidents of WCBN right next to us right now. So shout out to them. They've done a lot for this club, and they've been a great influence on me and helped me improve as a broadcaster. And it's unfortunate that my career might end right now, but it's been so fun nonetheless.
So much
and
fun.
It's been a pleasure calling this game, calling all WCBN games. And thanks for tuning in to WCBN Sports here on YouTube, official student voice of Michigan Athletics. We'll be back for future baseball coverage and softball coverage this season, but we will leave you as we always do.
Tune into student radio.
Tune into student radio. It won't be gone. Unfortunately, I'll be leaving. I know you'll be sad about that, but we have a ton of aspiring and promising, talented broadcasters in this club, much younger than me, and they're going to be doing great things. So keep on tuning into WCBN Sports on YouTube, as well as WCBN FM on 88.3 if you're a local here in Ann Arbor. But I will stop talking now, and thanks again for tuning in, and we'll leave you with have a great rest of your day, and go blue.